Hello, Marco Polo.
Hello, Rita Pita. What the hell are we talking about today?
I don't know. Apparently, you have a few questions for me.
Yes. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Hard Headed Podcast. We're talking about a bunch of things, random questions we had for each other. So, who wants to go first?
I don't have questions, so you go
don't have questions?
first and last.
I thought you had some prepared for me. Okay,
I
fine.
don't have any questions.
Fine. So, in our excitement to welcome our daughter into our world, a bunch of conversations will come up about this and that, and would you this, and would you that, and would you allow blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
And we slowly see ourselves becoming our parents.
You asked me a question last time, and I was so ready to start the podcast right away.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had so much to say.
You want to save it for last then? We'll save it for last.
Okay,
or somewhere
sure.
in the middle. Maybe I'll throw it at you randomly.
Sure.
My first question for you, Rita.
Go ahead.
Mama Bear. Would you let your daughter date at 13?
13? It depends. What kind of dating?
I don't know. Define dating. You haven't asked me yet, so I'll leave it to you.
I can't tell her no, because she'll do it behind my back anyway.
Is that something you did behind your parents'
Of course.
back? Oh, confessions. Are your parents listening or watching? So you dated at 13? Okay, define your dating at 13.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Should I be more worried about my parents or you? It's nothing. It's puppy love. It was. I'm sorry. Your face right now is hilarious. I can't hold it.
Give me all their addresses.
I can't be serious.
Puppy love. Okay. What is allowed in dating? I mean, look. Can I throw in something in there?
Go ahead.
I know you didn't officially ask me, but
it's a tough question. Go ahead.
Crushes are feelings. That's completely fine. I'll be like, oh, you have a crush on someone? Cool, cute. Who is it? But behind that, I'll be like, I need addresses. I need phone numbers. But that's completely fine because these are natural feelings that will be manifesting. So you don't want to just tell them, nah, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But if she says, hey, Dad, I have a boyfriend at 13, I'll be like, really?
Oh, a boyfriend.
What do you mean boyfriend? What is that?
Like that? That's how you're going to ask it?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, look, in high school, I've seen especially here in Canada, it's like we have secondary school. It's not so it's like it's not grade 7 or I don't know what, at least in Quebec. But the equivalent, I guess, would be grade 7, grade 8, 12, 13. They're holding hands. I've seen that. All right, whatever. You know?
Except it's not holding hands anymore in this generation.
Do you know this? See, this is how we start sounding like our parents. Every generation will talk about the next generation being horrible. Back in our parents, oh, you guys are always on the computer. Now it's, oh, you guys are always on your phones. Same shit.
Listen, at the end of the day, as long as I'm there for guidance and reassurance and not be judgmental, I don't want them to feel like I'm ever judgmental. That's number one. And I want them to just be comfortable to tell me things.
She can tell me anything. I won't be judgmental towards her.
No, I know you won't.
I will not judge him as I hold my gun towards his face.
Sure, okay, sure.
Or sword. Or katana.
I knew you were going to say that.
Now, the real question, go ahead. I'll have something to throw after, but go ahead.
I can't really answer it now because it depends who my daughter is.
What does that mean?
Like,
she's
for example,
be her mother's daughter.
Yeah, if she's anything like me, there's nothing to worry about.
And if she's anything like me, there's nothing to worry about either.
Oh man, I wish she dates someone like you. If she ends up finding, because you're a different species.
I'm a different species.
Yeah, you're just awesome. You're special.
I'm from Krypton.
Yeah, or
planet Vegeta, where Goku is from.
Okay, let's move on.
Whoa.
I think I answered your question.
Yeah. Would you let your son date at 13?
No, the same thing applies.
Okay. So just
the same thing applies. If my son is...
Fuck the patriarchy. We gotta be fair here.
Absolutely. If my son is anything like you, I also have nothing to worry about. He's not gonna be an asshole. Because if he is, we have a dungeon that we're gonna develop in the house. And no, I'm kidding.
Rita's opinions do not reflect mine or Rise's Rise Projects' values.
Nah.
Yes.
He's gonna be a gentleman.
Yes.
And
Okay.
it's really what their intentions are. Like, what are your intentions?
Yeah, like they could be 6 and be like, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah,
what
like
does that mean?
what kind of feelings? Like, what are you feeling exactly?
Yeah.
Share. What is that? Your feelings.
Depends what you discover in there.
How do you feel when you describe your... I don't know how to talk
They
anymore.
might come into and be like, yeah, I had sex. And you're like, excuse me? But they think kissing is sex or something. Like they just kissed on the lips. And they're like, do you know like what sex is?
You know, I feel like you have to like practice not to react quickly.
Yeah, not to rage in the moment.
Or rage,
you know?
in your face.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone's can make mistakes, and everyone's...
I think one must take a breath so as not to lose the child's trust in the moment. And then they're afraid of saying anything. But yeah. All right.
Next question.
Well, would you now let your 16-year-old daughter bring a boyfriend home? This is assuming you allow, since a 13 is not really a yes.
Sure. Who's his family? What does he do? What is he studying? I'll just ask all those questions.
Is he a doctor?
Is he a doctor?
Is he Mohammed? Is he what's a lawyer?
No, I'm kidding. His family have money? No, okay.
Where he from? Which village? All right. Now there's a follow-up question.
No, it's really because I want to get to know him, who he is, get an idea, of who that person is. And, you always want to know what their intentions are with your daughter or son.
Okay, there you go. So it's the same rule applies. Now, would you let her boyfriend sleep over at 16?
No. Nope.
Why not?
Because your face. Would you let?
Absolutely not.
It is not necessary.
Except in the dungeon.
Oh, sure. Okay. We were totally kidding, by the way. There's no dungeon that we're gonna develop. So future parents, kids who are gonna date our kids, don't be worried.
No,
okay?
I'm not kidding.
Okay, you're not kidding. He's kidding. Okay. No. I would not let him sleep over.
Why?
How can I explain this?
See, like these questions, they have to have a conversation sometimes. Right? Why?
Because there has to be a reason.
You're going to ask us why.
I don't want to be that parent that just says, no, you're not allowed. There's a reason. What is the reason, you ask? I'm thinking about it. Hold on.
This is when the DNA of our parents is just flowing through and it's a no.
It's like, first of all, how long have you been dating? Okay. Again, same rule applies. Who is this person? What are their intentions? I'm someone that
just says no.
It's just really hard to explain.
That's weird.
I don't know how to develop.
But it feels weird, right? So you're saying no because something in you says this is wrong, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but why is it wrong?
Because at 16,
maybe there's someone listening now who says like, that's fine. And someone else saying,
hell
no.
I'm sure there's a lot. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot who allowed that. But I don't think it should be allowed because I feel like you don't know how someone can change and develop throughout, especially teenage years. And even after 18 years old, you're still a kid. I don't want to say to my child, you're a kid, but you're developing, you're learning new things in life. You haven't met enough people to really fully embrace and experience true feelings. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you meet your soulmate in high school and you stick with them, and that's the case to many couples out there. For sure. But how do you know for sure if that's the case at 16 years old? You haven't been to college yet and then worked and then understand the struggles and challenges of life, because I feel like there's so much going on in the world that like you need to fully experience everything. And I feel like sex and sleeping over someone's house can ruin that for you if you just do it with that one person you're not even sure about. Does that make sense?
I understand. Yeah.
Okay. Like I have certain experience in the past that I'd be very comfortable sharing with my daughter or son. And I would let them know about it so that they understand my perspective. And then I let them decide. But I feel like by doing so and sharing with your kids instead of just saying giving them strict orders, no, and really guiding them and making them understand like what their true feelings are and what consequences actions can have, they'll be able to decide better and understand why we say no to certain things. And I just feel like letting your boyfriend or girlfriend sleep over at 16 years old is not the right time to go through this right now, like especially at that age, because there's still a lot of development in that stage in life, and I just feel like it's rushy.
So the reason is really because you want to protect her
Absolutely.
from something she might do that she might regret,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah, protect her or him. And
Right. Because it's not, at the end of the day, okay, you said something about not wanting to be just pure tyranny here, and it's a no and without explanation, which can
yeah,
cause rebellion,
yeah,
which is the same for like governments. If it doesn't feel like there's a actual understanding, there's no trust, and people rebel.
yeah,
So I think the same is true in a household that's like a mini society.
yeah.
Um,
Now go on. Why do you say no?
so I don't think it's purely a matter of a number, because someone at 16 can be more mature than someone at 20.
True.
So it's not like when you turn 16 the rules change. Like when you turn 18 and you're suddenly allowed to drink, doesn't mean that 18 a day before you turn 18 you were less mature and then you suddenly turn mature. So it's not a pure mathematical thing. So it's about maturity, and I believe in helping children think critically. So that's number one. Number two, my child is a diamond and therefore has value. And bringing someone over so quickly or just engaging in something so impulsively reduces your value.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's not something I tolerate for your sake. But you also have to understand that you're not cheap. You're of value, which means that comes with certain um, rules
Okay, but certain
for
people
yourself.
could argue that how would someone sleep over in your house with your child make them of less value? Some people could argue against that.
Because boys,
Mm.
okay, in our society are taught that your value is your head count, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much sex you need to have, especially in quantity, defines your masculinity. So, first of all, my son needs to understand that this is not the way
Mm-hmm.
to know your self worth, and of course, my daughter needs to understand that. So, by having her boundaries, she knows I'm not just going to let any random guy come over and just take my body without me feeling like I really want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because sleeping over is going to mean a lot of things. You know what I mean? How aware are you about, contraception, birth control?
Mm.
How aware are you about STDs? How aware are you about trust in that person that is with you is not trying to go further than you allow, and then they do things that are inappropriate. So these things have to be well understood.
Yeah.
Because you're putting yourself naked, all right, physically and spiritually here.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't want to invite that before the person is really ready for it. Now, generally speaking, your children will reflect your values. So they're not just bringing this person into their room; they're bringing into our house, and we have dignity, we have values in our house. So you have to respect those values as well. If you're 25, it's like you're an adult. I can't really.
25, you can't really
It's not
control
my
at this point.
responsibility anymore. It's my
Yeah.
responsibility as always to be your shelter and to be your guide. But at this point, if you live alone and so on, unless
Yeah.
you come and ask me for opinions and so on, but
Okay, what if this boy was like you growing up?
if he's like me, he would not impose himself
Very true.
at her or try and get
Very
his
true.
way,
Very true.
his dick in,
Very true. Like, for example, I've had certain restrictions and rules I needed to follow when I was still living with my parents, and you just respected that. You didn't question it.
And that's true regardless of age.
Yes.
Because people have rules and boundaries, and there's culture. Then that whether you're 16 or 30, everyone, especially if you come from a family-oriented
Yeah.
culture,
Yeah.
a lot of different kinds of rules and values come in here beyond the person alone.
True.
So you're not just respecting the person; he has to respect the family too.
Yep.
He has to tell himself, "Is this right for me to sleep over at her parents?"
Yeah.
If not, I'd be like, "Are you sure that man respects you?" and your values. All that to say is no.
Okay.
No. La. La. That means no in Arabic, guys, okay? Say it. It has power in Arabic. La. Well, I asked, would you let your son do it? Same applies here.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people who think that...
Oh, it's a guy, it's fine.
Yeah,
No,
but you're
no.
perpetuating the same problem here.
Exactly.
All right?
Boys will be boys. No, boys will be boys because you let them
Until you
be
have a
boys.
daughter, when you have a daughter, you want boys to respect her. Therefore, you want boys to be respectful
Thank
of
you.
other daughters.
Thank you.
All right. Next question. Would you let her travel solo at 18 to a foreign country?
Yes.
Any foreign country?
Well, any foreign country. Like which one? Give me an example.
Japan.
Okay. Yeah. Why? But why?
North Korea.
Why?
Um,
Any country. Why?
I
What's
mean,
the reason?
whatever. I don't know. She just wants to travel.
Then yes, I did it.
Yeah, but you weren't alone.
A lot of people do solo traveling. It's something I once considered in the past.
Are you concerned about safety? Because some countries are safer than others.
Yeah, some countries are safer than others, and traveling smart is a thing. And traveling ready and doing your research is another. And if you do both of these things, there's nothing to worry about. Traveling for me is educational. It's a luxury. It's something everyone should be able to do to grow your mind and your spirit. So yeah, 100%.
All right.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it depends where, how. Like, if such a country is said to be really unsafe or the area you're going in, I'll be concerned.
I'd
But that's
ask
a
more
matter
why
of,
questions if she'd be
yeah,
deciding to go there.
or like a specific area within a country that is known to be very dangerous.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think I'd be cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
But, keep us always posted.
Yeah, for sure.
Next. I mean, wait, before that, actually, the same is true for our son.
Yes.
We're saying daughter because that's what's
we
coming
keep saying
first.
daughter because we're having a daughter, but every rule applies to my son, even. If I had a son, same thing.
Because for some people, it doesn't. They think
well,
daughter will like
disagree.
this.
I disagree.
Especially
Fully.
certain fathers who might be like, my daughter, they're going to be extra protective, but they won't be as much for their son.
There's
because they're like, I know what to expect.
There's definitely more threats and risks because you're a woman. So you have to be extra tough because of that, because of the stupid society we live in. But who told you sons can't be safe or unsafe as well wherever they are? Like it's
you mean
never
regarding
know.
traveling or
regarding
upbringing?
traveling or upbringing, anything. I don't want to sugarcoat things around my son and not my daughter. That's not how it works.
Right.
If my son understands that, he'll understand women very well.
There's that quote I remember reading. I think I stored it like years ago. It said, "Protect our daughters, no, protect your daughters," and then it was
Educate your
there
sons.
was strike through. Under it said, "Teach your boys."
Yeah.
So, or raise your boys, something like that. So
first.
So if you're gonna be tough on your girls because the world is shit, be tough on your boys in the sense of how they should treat women.
Definitely.
With dignity. Okay. That said, would you let your daughter or son donate a kidney to a friend?
Oof. What is up with those questions, Mark?
It does. I never thought about this question. I looked it up. I was looking like at some questions and this came up and I'm like, what?
What are the risks and challenges if you donate a kidney? You're left with one kidney.
You're left with one, yeah. So you're running on one.
Yeah.
Which is doable. But it's just, I think it comes with, I don't know if you have to be extra careful about your health.
Yeah.
Since you're running on one.
I don't know the implications. Like, I don't know what comes after, like, if you're running on one kidney. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Who is this friend? How long have they been friends? Are they like a family member almost? Like, who is this?
Yeah.
And I'd do it before letting my son or daughter do it.
Interesting.
Like, I wouldn't want my son or daughter, like, if I see them...
That was slick.
Yeah, if I see them wanting to actually do that and really, like, risk it and do it, I'm like, no, let me do it instead of you. I don't want you to sacrifice a kidney.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
So you just took option A versus option B and you introduced option C.
That's it.
I will sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's what you did. Solid. That's interesting. That's like a whole movie. I would do the same. I wonder if our child would be compelled to say, no, father, no, mother.
Father and mother.
Let this be my sacrifice.
Mm. Yeah, let's hope we just never get to that point.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's
But I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Plan C. Option C. Go on.
Yeah, I don't think it's a matter of letting or not. It's just a big conversation about what this means and your health and so on.
Because if this person is so close to us, then in a way they would be like an extra son or daughter for me. Does that make sense? For you to give up a kidney, and this person's not anyone. It's not a stranger. It's someone dear to us. So I wouldn't hesitate.
I would find a way to rapidly create an artificial kidney through bioengineering.
AI
that would then be accepted.
Yeah. It's so doable, by the way. Like if they're doing cultured meat and growing meat in labs, on it now. Yeah, like you can freaking grow an organ.
Well, that is the future of medicine.
Yeah,
I've looked at that a bit, and that's really where do you want to go? This is
everything. Where we should be now.
Like if you lose an arm, the whole point it would like reconstruct an arm.
Yeah,
so it'd be like Wolverine.
Like we should be now.
Yeah,
there. Not
we're getting there.
Stupid World War III. Yeah. Anyways,
next question.
Yeah,
would you let your child have complete privacy online without parental monitoring? And I'm guessing they're teens.
Child?
Let's say they're teens.
No. Absolutely not.
If anyone is listening and not watching, you should see the look on her face right now. There's electricity in her eyes. It's just,
no.
I feel the blade. Why, Rita?
First of all, they're minor. And they're exploring. And second of all, everything on the internet is trash.
Oh.
Everything that has to do with...
This podcast is on the internet.
No! Anything that is of sexual reference is the worst kind of reference out there, and so not real,
like porn
and fake. Yes, yes, anything. You can find that so easily on the internet nowadays. So, hell no. Guidance, utmost guidance, and I want to see everything that's being browsed. Yeah. You?
Definitely no, because you want to monitor but not like a tyrant. You want to have your rules, but sure. you want to set boundaries by being able to control their absolute every movement. Excuse me, I mean to democratically to give them no choice.
U.S. democracy or a fake democracy? Okay.
There's no such thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just you want parental monitoring.
Yeah.
Because they can get into big problems. But I don't just mean porn.
Even psychological problems.
Yeah, you're talking like sexual predators and shit like that, and just things that are just disturbing.
There's a lot of shit.
There's also, you want to put a limit on how much they spend on the freaking internet and social media, which is designed to get you addicted. Yeah. I cannot stand that shit. I know we're on social media, but I can't stand it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not able to spend that long on social media. I have like an automatic thing that says it's enough.
Yeah.
I can't just browse and browse.
But not everyone's like that.
People just scroll and scroll. I get sick of it.
I get sick of it.
I was going to say I get fucking sick of it. But it has a lot of value. Social media has helped expose things that you wouldn't see on corporate media and allow people like you and I to just do our thing without control from like traditional media.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of factors in play. It just they're not going to have the utmost privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
The question.
The question.
Would you let your child date an Israeli / Zionist?
No.
Oh God.
Hell no.
Oh God, ladies and gentlemen, this one's spicy.
That's the question. Would you let your daughter or son date a white supremacist?
Another very good question.
It's the same one.
I would have a lot of questions for this child.
It's the same exact one. And that's how I look at it.
You know, there are Israelis, and I've seen them, who are anti-Zionist. So you got to give them credit where it's due, right? They're like,
yes,
fuck the cult of Zionism.
Sure, okay.
So that part is there. Now, if they're Zionist, I'd be like, all right. Generally speaking, I still believe in our child having critical thinking. So you don't want to make the mistake of just saying no for the sake of no, and then your child just does it behind your back anyway. So I might be compelled to still invite that person over if they really insist. Be like, no, I really like him. I'd be like, really? Okay,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
bring
we'll
him.
drill them.
But
Sure.
bring them, so I really know what's going on. But if they start spewing things that sound like what you would expect today Zionism to sound, which is denial of what's happening to Palestinians, not recognizing the rights of Palestinians, and there's this superior behavior,
Mm-hmm.
and that they should just be pushed aside.
They will not step foot in my house.
Yes, but then I would turn to my child and be like, do you think this is okay? Our child has to be intelligent enough to see that there might be something off with
Okay.
that.
Okay. Hold on.
Go on.
First of all,
She's flaming.
if these kids of ours date a Zionist like that, they're not my kids.
Hold on.
Let me tell you why.
Are you
Because
saying
hold on. Because if
are you
with the
saying you
way-
would disown your child?
I would never disown my child. I
Okay.
said, hold on, let me explain myself. The way we would educate our kids about history and our roots and where my grandparents come from, in no way whatsoever will they feel right dating a Zionist. This is what I mean by that would not be my daughter or my son if they decide to date a Zionist who thinks that way, who actually sees and spews very racist remarks on our people. It's very simple. So for you to ask me, would you let your daughter date a Zionist? She wouldn't want to date a Zionist.
Or he?
He or she.
Maybe.
But
I'll tell you
how?
what.
Like,
Just playing devil's advocate here. Because how do you prevent making the same mistakes of traditional parents who are so convinced they're protecting their child that they impose authoritarian rules that prevents the child, that says you're not allowed, this is betrayal, and then either disowns the child or says not allowed to step in this house, and the
Okay.
child says, but I'm getting to know them, you know what I mean?
okay.
Or says, well, you know what, I don't care about this whole thing.
Okay. That's a very good question. And I'll tell you why. I love our parents. Sometimes the way our parents have unfortunately, their upbringing is very biased and ignorant. And they had also ignorant parents. And it just, got passed down from generation to generation. So you kind of create this very, very narrow-minded opinion and small-minded opinion on certain things that you just feel like you need to set rules on your kids so that they think like you. I can't control how my kids will think, but my parents didn't go about this thinking like that. For them, it's no, they're not allowed to do that, and it's a no. The way I'm going about it is different because I'm explaining why. I want to always give a reason as to why I don't agree with certain things. It doesn't mean they're going to disagree or agree with me on everything in life. I know this. My kids are their own people. But I just feel like it doesn't compute in my head how they would want to date someone like that, because at the end of the day, a person that's like this is racist. They think they're superior than you. They think wrong. This is why my approach would be different from our parents, because it's more like, okay, so historically this has happened, and then there's people who think like this and people who think like that, and you be your own judge at the end of the day. You think what's right or wrong. And I think it's obvious what's right. So this is how I would make sure I'm going about it differently from our parents.
So you're saying you be the judge at the end. You're telling that to your child.
Yeah.
You be the judge.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're telling them that you decide at the end.
Sure.
So.
And I will still never disown my child.
Right.
Never.
Would you be comfortable allowing them to bring that person in?
They can, but there'll be a debate and a lot of questions. Like I said, we will drill them. Does that make
So
sense?
you would want to ask a lot of questions to the Zionist boyfriend
Yes. Or girlfriend.
or girlfriend. What if she says, let's not talk about that?
I'd ask my child.
Hmm.
Because there's no way they wouldn't talk about that with each other. Because if I see that my child's being brainwashed, things change.
How do you know you're not brainwashing your child
Because I'm the one letting them date that person.
as opposed to forbidding them?
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't be okay with it.
No.
That's
I
fair.
haven't heard you answer this question.
I threw in a couple things, I think.
Yeah, but okay. I haven't heard you answer my would you let your child date a white supremacist question.
I would not be comfortable with it.
Okay.
So let's roll with the scenario. I'm always about context. So if he is a white supremacist, we have to have figured out that he is, or Zionist. How do we know this? We would know from opinions, maybe. Like we wouldn't know if the person is just white. You don't know. How do you start knowing that the person is a white supremacist? There's some clues that are being thrown here.
Yeah.
So how are we knowing about these clues? Does she know about these clues?
Yeah.
Or he?
Yeah.
How did you figure that out? Something happened, something we saw, some post was shared. So likely, if it's just white supremacist boyfriend, whatever, you wouldn't know until you start seeing something. So it might just be like, hey, dad, I'm dating Fred, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, who is he? Oh, that's his social media. Okay. Then I started seeing on social media or whatever, that's a weird post saying, for example, white people have it bad too. Everyone keeps exaggerating. You know what I mean? Things like that, or whatever happened to our nothing happened to Native Americans. You know what I mean?
Right.
Our country is great. Deport those assholes back to their countries. Something like Islam is a plague. Be like, all right. And I was sure, have you seen this? So what do you think about that? This is your boyfriend who shared it. Did you talk to him about that? Yeah, actually, he just, he thinks that, that their ideology is backwards, and I don't know. I'd be like, okay, are you cool? Are you cool with that? Because I'm not cool with that. Are you comfortable with that opinion?
Okay, but now you're being okay. But you're giving your opinion and you're being judgmental, being
No,
like
no,
your
no, no, no.
parents.
No. I have the right to share how I feel and give my opinion first because I have to be transparent with my child.
Okay.
But then I ask her, are you okay with that? Does that make sense to you? If she says, yeah, I think they're all, I'd be like, if she says something like, yeah, all Muslims are stupid, I'd be like, that's not the conversation we had a week ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So something's off.
Yeah.
In which case, either someone's messing with your head, and I gotta take care of it, or you completely changed your opinions in a week, which is weird, right?
But
or
does that sound like someone that is our kid?
No.
Exactly.
If we have taught them critical thinking, the likelihood is they won't even be with that person.
That's
or
it.
They will discover it later and be like, oh God, breakup time. You know what I mean? So I think the same is true for Zionist. If the person says we have the same questions will start to happen. The same kinds of things that are being shared. If they just tell me, yeah, they're Israeli, okay, I'm going to listen first.
She'll tell you where they stand as well.
That's it. Okay, tell me about their values. What are their values? How do they feel about you? How do they feel about this situation? How do they feel about Palestine, Arabs? Where are their... Because at the end of the day, your values have to match.
Yeah.
And if your values are matching with something that is a racist ideology that denies that there's apartheid right now, I'd be like, do you know, we've talked about this. You know that there's apartheid. This has been even made official by the UN. If you don't see this, we have an issue. Because we stand for human rights here. It's not even a question of opinions anymore. It's a question of human rights.
So it's basically everything that I've been telling you.
Yes.
But you're just throwing scenarios.
Yeah, because...
Yeah. But then, okay, so let me ask you the same question you asked me. Would you allow that Zionist to come to your house?
If she says, I want to invite him over, okay, how long have you been together? 3 months, 4 months? Okay, invite him. We'll sit down. Because at the end of the day, you want to be a respectful host, and I'm doing it out of respect for my daughter. but there's certain limits.
Okay.
Meaning,
Now, what happens if he spews negative remarks and
well, then you're
you
out of the
see-
house.
Okay, and you
Very
see
simple.
that he's okay, but then that means your daughter doesn't want to see you anymore, or us, and
Not necessarily. If you're spewing things, I'd be like, oh, are you aware of what he just said? You know what I mean?
I think you're taking it the wrong way, Dad.
Okay, I love you. I don't like him. I don't like what he's saying. So this is my house. He has to step out. Doesn't even have to be like a raging conversation.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him right now, and I need to have a conversation with you about this, because if you really are serious about him, at the end of the day, especially if you're an adult, I can't stop you, but we'll have to create a way where he doesn't get in our, like, how can I say this? That he doesn't interfere with our household
Yeah.
or our values.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But this is any situation where you don't like the person, but you love your daughter or son.
Yeah.
Okay, I love you, I just don't want to see him.
Yeah.
All right?
At the end of the day, our kids would just not want to date that.
Yeah, but these are important questions, because every parent might say that. Every parent might say
but
that. So
but many parents don't educate their kids well enough and tell them why they think certain things,
Yes.
or tell them. I mean, look, I grew up with more rules than understanding why. You know, you understand why after, when you're an adult, why your parents were thinking such things and why they believe such things. You understand that way after, not when you're a kid. When you're a kid, you're just scared and you're like, my parents say no, and that's it. But now, I understand everything, you know? If you start that from day one and they're a child, they'll be able to grow up with critical thinking and understand things better.
That's the important part.
Yes.
So that you don't end up being the same kind of parent that just brainwashes their child.
Or sheep that would just follow and...
So the critical thinking part is very important.
Yeah.
But that means exposure. You need to be exposed to what's happening and see the truth for yourself as well.
Yeah.
And I will present you with all these things. What is likely to happen if she ends up dating someone like that, or he ends up dating a girl like that, is if they are Zionist, she will make him see.
100%.
And he'll be like, because likely if you're a Zionist, you live in denial.
Yes.
You think this is just a safe land for us, for Jews, but you don't realize that. No, it's an ideology based on oppressing a native people and indigenous people who live there.
It was a safe land when my grandma was living there, among Jews and among Muslims.
Yeah. So...
and Christians. So
it's not an ideology. And there's plenty of anti-Zionist Jews who are saying not in my name, because they've seen the truth and they're like, we're not going to repeat another genocide now towards indigenous people. So our daughter or son will be aware of this. So if they're dating someone who isn't, they will have an issue with that.
Exactly.
If they don't see that, it's a different kind of conversation. It's going to be on the boyfriend or girlfriend who are Zionist to be made to see that. If not, it's going to cause a clash anyway.
Exactly. Is that all your questions?
These are all my questions, yes.
All right.
You guys.
Yeah.
Why or why not? How would you approach this? How would you approach this? Because if you're our listeners, likely you're anti-Zionist. You are against this hateful ideology. But how would you go about it? That's my question to you guys. You can throw it in the comments, but also ask us a bunch of different questions.
Yes. Leave your questions in our form submission on our website, riseprojects.com/heartheaded, and we'll answer you from there. All right, let's do a lightning round Q&A because we asked our Instagram community to ask us a few questions.
Excellent.
When did you guys meet?
When? I believe 2015. But we started dating in 2018.
Yeah. Why, you ask? I don't know.
We were friends and stuff, and then, life, and then finally.
Life happened, and finally I stopped searching for love, and that's when I found love. That's the irony. Yeah.
Here I am.
Okay. This isn't a question. I just want to say no question. Just want to say love you both. Free Palestine and free Lebanon. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
and
love
we
you
love
back.
you too. And last question. How do you guys get along with each other?
We don't.
We don't get along with each other. He's actually my arch enemy.
I like that. We are in each other's face every day. We run a business together
Yeah.
that is mostly from home as
Mhm.
well. And I don't get sick of you.
No, I don't.
People have asked us this. I don't get sick of you. Look
No.
at that face.
You're my best friend.
Look at that face.
You're my bestie. I married my best friend, so I really don't understand that concept. Like, I love doing everything with this
Yeah,
guy.
but there's no way people be like, what? You guys never argue?
Oh, of course. You argue, you talk it out, and then you grow even stronger.
I don't know what the hell that
sounded
means.
very
It sounded
cheesy.
a hallmark. Yeah. How do we fight? Or do we fight?
We don't fight. We talk. Has there been times? Okay, look, there's been times
It's pretty
where
rare.
I raised my more than you. I have more of a temper than you. Let's face it. There's always that one person that has a bigger temper than the other, and that's me in this relationship.
She looks cute, but yeah. She's a warrior.
I let it roar.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but yeah.
But anyway, we just talk it out. I've learned to, as we've mentioned in other episodes in season 1, I've learned to know how to express my feelings and really say how I feel first before always blaming the other and always saying it's you, it's your fault, it's because you. So that's how we go about our arguments. It's really just expressing how we feel.
It's never been nasty.
No.
Thankfully. And I think a lot of it has to do with the whole understanding your feelings.
Yeah.
If you're angry, you pause. If you're getting to a 4 or 5, and often anger and stuff or arguments have to do with a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
So before letting it escalate, you pause.
Yeah.
You got to cool down here.
Yeah.
That's the best way that you can manage your anger and not let things get unleashed.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
that's it.
Yeah, that's the main way we handle it.
All right. Throw us your random questions to this random couple on our website, riseprojects.com/hardheaded. And you can listen to us on our website, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast.
That's Rise Projects, RYZE, projects.com/hardheaded. That's right.
See you on the next.
What's happened?
I don't know. All right. See you on the next episode.
Bye.